Paul, obviously a big game ahead of the weekend. How's the lads been this week?
Yeah, they've been very good. I keep saying it, don't I? But they have been. They've trained really well. I think it was, even though it was only a draw at the weekend, it was like a positive winning draw, getting the goal like we did. And I thought the way we played second half as well, so they've come in and they're in good spirits. Obviously there's players who are unhappy because they're not playing, but that's part and parcel of football, and that's something that you have to get used to, because I think I've said it before. If I look back through my career, which started in many moons ago in 1982, I can safely say I've had more down times than I've had good times. So players have to get used to it, and that's something that that hopefully they'll be able to deal with as we go on and on towards the end of the season, and they'll be fine once the Saturdays come.
But for a group that has struggled through the season for a variety of different reasons, to be experiencing this, they're learning new things, a lot of these boys.
Yeah, they are. I always go back to that first time we won, and Donnell walking off and saying to Gav Skelton, wow, it's a nice feeling this, isn't it, winning? Because he hadn't won a first team game, and it is a nice feeling. It's a much better feeling. It doesn't have to make your life better. The whole week's better, the whole environment's better, and we have to keep doing it though. We've got to keep on at them all the time. And today I've been quite heavy-handed with them and quite strong with them, really, about little things that I've picked up over this week since Saturday's game. I've gone over quite a few of our games again, and I've looked at little things, and I'm seeing trends that are coming in that I think we can be better at. And they've had it today. I've given it to them. I've shown the clips of it. I've shown them on a slide what I want it to look like, not what it did look like. And hopefully we'll be able to put it in practice on Saturday, and then the other 5 after it.
I'm going to go back to that thing I mentioned last week, because I thought it was just to overhear you say it to the group on your second day of training. Whatever it is you're playing for, don't let this club go down. You must be so pleased that whatever it is you're still picking up, they bought into that message.
Oh, without a doubt they have. The players have been fantastic in the way they've gone about it. We've had a really good time of it. We've had 2 losses, but we've had a draw and the rest wins. It's been a really positive time for us, and I want to carry that on. That's what you play sport, whatever sport you play, whether or not you're a Sunday league, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional. It's so much better when you win, and it's a lovely feeling to get. It's not all about winning, but it doesn't half make a difference when you do win. And for us in this situation, unfortunately, it is all about winning. It's about getting those wins. Last week we had to settle for a point, so last week's point will be even bigger if we get 3 this weekend.
And in terms of getting that point, the manner that we got it, it was a feisty game as well. The lads have stood up to that for the first time that we've seen under you. What does that tell you about the group that you've got?
Yeah, again, it shows character and it shows a bit of personality, and they kept going. They kept trying to do the right things. You have to play right through to the end. Everybody talks about 90 minutes of football. It isn't. Last week was 98. I can't remember what he added on at half time, but it was 98 altogether if you and take the extra minutes in the first half as well. So it's about seeing it right through to the end, and we did that. And yes, there was things worked to our favour. I'm quite sure if their fans hadn't kept the ball in the stand, the referee wouldn't have added the extra 2 minutes, but that ain't our fault. We just have to adapt to whatever. I thought they kept the composure, they kept the heads, while everybody else was losing theirs. There's a famous poem in that, isn't there? And we did. We just kept plugging away, kept doing the right things, and when you keep doing the right things and you keep having the right mentality, your technique becomes right, and Jordan's technique for a strike that hits the post, Toby's technique in getting into goal scoring areas and then executing the header, it works, and we've got to keep doing it. We've just got to keep making sure that we do everything we possibly can to keep getting results, to keep us in this football league.
The way the FA works, I don't think any of us are surprised that the charge came because of the way the 2 groups of players came together. That's just something we have to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's an unfortunate part of football, but at the moment I can't really say anything more about it, except that we're considering and formulating our response, and it'll be taken care of.
You made a couple of changes to personnel last Saturday. You made a couple of tweaks in moving personnel into different positions as well. You must have real food for thought at the moment with the number of players available and the options once they're actually out on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely have. We've got, at this level, it's really unusual to have a bench full of what I would class as senior pros, like we have, and that's even with last weekend. We had Jack and Louis not even making the bench, and Owen who wasn't involved. We've got a big group of players here. Probably, if I'm going to be honest with you, it's maybe a little bit too big, but at the moment it's what I've come into, so I'm going to make the most of it. And I was able to freshen it up, and I'm freshening it up with players who are seasoned, experienced players who can come in and do the job, and they did the job last weekend. It may be that we freshen it up again this weekend, and everybody has to be ready. And again, I'll go back to the first time I spoke to the players on that was it a Wednesday or a Thursday? Wednesday, and I said to them, everybody will be needed between now and the end of the season. And most people have been involved, whether it's as a starter, whether it's as a finisher. There's maybe one or two who've not had any minutes, but they are going to be needed, or there's a chance they're going to be needed, and I want them. Even if I don't use them on a match day, I need them to make the training as intense as we need it, to make sure that we train Monday to Friday as we want to play on a Saturday, because I honestly do believe that if you do it right Monday to Friday, Saturday becomes a lot easier.
You said it yourself after the game, March has been absolutely fantastic. Let's do it through April. The product of March is Morgan gets a fans award, Amari's up for a PFA award, yourself, you're up for a divisional award. That tells us that something has been going right.
Yeah, without a doubt. And listen, individual awards are all really nice. They're lovely. I'm not going to say that they're not. And if I was to pick up an individual award, then brilliant. But I don't need to get an award to know that we had a really good month. I look at, I can't even tell you off the top of my head who else has been nominated, but from the situation we were in, we have been the best team in this league throughout March, and I don't know what's going to come, and really I'm not going to lose any sleep over what comes. We have been the best team in March, simple as that, and that has given us a fighting chance to stay up, and that's really all that matters. So an individual award would be lovely. I'd love Amari to get an individual award just like Morgan did, and I'll show it all in the presentation if that's what happens. We know we've had a good March, but what we have to do is make sure we have a really good April as well.
And on that, I mean, we're getting closer to the point where you're not going to be able to bat it back anymore when we say we're safe. We will be.
Yeah.
But it's still not done, isn't it? There's still and even if it was today, there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well, the players have realised that today in training. Well, in fact, in a meeting we had before training and then through training, that I'm not going to let up. I don't want to let up. We are all scrapping for all sorts of different reasons at different stages of our career, and we are all trying to do everything we can to keep a really positive group of supporters happy. And if we do that, and we all go through the Bradford game and we get into May and there's a positive feel, there'll be a positive feel through the summer, and then when pre-season starts, whenever pre-season starts, there'll be a positive feel about the club. And that's what you have to do. You're always being tested, you're always on show, whether that's on the grass or off the grass. And if you've got any pride about the way you do your job, you'll continue to do it as well as you possibly can.
Exeter have been on an unbelievable charge since January in particular, even though they've had a good season as well. 2 defeats, I think it is, since the turn of the year. Do we change what we do because of that?
No, we don't. No, we keep preparing exactly the same. We'll do the same things. We've talked about what Exeter will do. We'll talk about it again on Friday and show them bits of it. But really, it is definitely about us. It's about how we go about it. That's what we've done all the time since I came in, and we'll continue to do it for this one on Saturday and the 5 after that. And I don't see the need to change it. I think it's more just about keeping the messages simple, being consistent about how we go about it. And we talked earlier about changes that have been made and people been moved into different positions. I think there's been a consistency about how we've tried to go about it. The shape of it might look slightly different, and I would call that a little tweak as opposed to a change, and we're tweaking things within a consistent shape to see if we can just get a result and get an effect from the players.
And we're given a marker down, I suppose, to teams that are at the top already. Even Newport I would include in that, by the way, with the way we finished. That shows us that we don't have to fear anybody.
No, we shouldn't fear anybody, and I don't think you can go into any game fearing anybody. I think it's This group of players deserve to be playing in League Two at the moment. I think it's a fairly level playing field. Over the season, we haven't been as consistent as we would like to be. Over the first run of games, we have been consistent in this run of 9 games that while I've been in the club, and we have to make sure we're consistent and make it a 15-game consistent run. But we are competing on a level playing field because I think these players are good enough to do it. But it's no point thinking about it. You have to go and show it. It's out there on the grass when it really matters, when there's a crowd here who are all wanting to see you do well and wanting to get a result. It's how we deal with that against a good Exeter side. But I'd like to think that they'll have looked at us recently and be thinking that we're a good Carlisle side as well.
They have got some standout individuals who are causing the team to have the effect that they've had. Do you deal with individuals within that group differently?
Nah, it's their shape. It's the style that they play with. It's the way they go about it. They've ground out some results of late, which is what this league's all about. Well, no, it's about what every league's about at this stage. It's about getting results. It's not about how you do it. I always think if your performance is right, the results will come, and that's what you try to get. At this stage, it's about results, and they're grinding out results because they've got a spirit about them. They've got a way that they play. They've got good individuals. We have to make sure that our individuals come out on top.
Eric worked with Matt Taylor recently. Do you tap into Eric's knowledge of Exeter and of what Matt might do?
Nah, not at all. I haven't done for any other game, so I won't be on this one either. I'm really confident that as a group of staff we can see what they're about. I'm really confident that Jakey in the analysis has picked out the clips to show the players, and we'll just keep doing the same thing. We've got enough experience in our group and this is me not being disrespectful to anybody else. We don't need anybody else. We've got what we need, and hopefully that'll be enough.
Looking on the numbers so far, we might get over 5,000 home fans again. That's a great response to what you're doing. I know you just want more and more, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because I want them to come in and I want them to see something positive about the club, and I think we are doing something positive now. When you get more fans coming in, it adds that little bit of pressure and a little bit of expectation, but that's what I want. I want players to show whether they can deal with that expectation and pressure, because regardless of the fact that Carlisle United are a League Two club at the moment, we are capable of getting crowds, and if these players can't deal with an expectation and a crowd, then probably not the right people to be here, and we have to be able to deal with that. And I want that. I don't mind if we get big numbers and they expect me to put a team out to win. That's what I want, and it'll certainly make the football club better the more people we can get through the turnstiles.